Godspeed to the city streets. We began to feel the fire.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the School of Life with Sonny. As always, why should you go through your experience if you can learn from other people's experiences? Why go through a long route while there are things that you can do to shorten your pain, shorten the pains of those people that you love. And this is what I've been doing in this season, just trying to see, what is it that I wish I learned or I knew earlier to make my pain easier? So I really want you to get as much as you can. So we've been talking about foundations, we've talked about names, we've talked about, we've started talking about paying attention to patterns and cycles. And so today I'm doing part 2 of paying attention to patterns and cycles. But today I want to talk about how I broke free from the pattern of education, the pattern and cycles of education. Well. I'm gonna go back and give you a brief of my education, like really quickly, because I know I've mentioned it earlier, but just in case someone is watching this video for the first time. So I said I did my class 8, that's in Kenya, primary school. By the time I was doing my final year of primary school, my dad dies. So my going to high school is almost challenged. If you're in Africa, if you're in Kenya, you know how going to high school is a challenge. Then when I'm doing my when I'm doing my last year of high school, again, I remember the last year, my mom was so sick. She kept she was on and off, and I was so scared. And I remember just telling God, please do not allow my mom to die before I do my exams. I was seeing, her health, and I was like, oh my God, I pray that nothing happens to her before I'm done with school. Of course, all forever. I didn't want anything to happen to her, but I was just asking God, please do not allow, because I cannot handle it. So I'm done with school in November, and I stay 2 months with mom, and she dies in February. So I'll have to stay only 2 months with her. So before I could even get my high school results, my mom was not there. Then I said I went through high school, through college. My hard dip was it was a real struggle. Then I did my BA, and now this is where I want to capitalize on today, how I did my BA and what I learned as I was watching Foundation part 2, because my own videos minister to me, and I was like, wow, I just got a revelation, and I just got this realization of how life is spiritual and how it manifests in the physical, and how our small wins, your small wins, it's they're gathered and then they become wins for those who are after you, like your children, your nephews, your nieces. And that is why you should take things seriously. That is why you should take even what I'm saying right now seriously, because it's not just for you. It's a win for you. It's a win for your children. It's a win for your brother's children. It's a win for your sister's children. It's a win for for a whole lineage, And do you know the thing that has power over you is probably the thing that you're supposed to overcome, and it's the thing that you're supposed to have power over. I don't know whether that makes sense. The thing that is controlling you could be lack of money. It could be the very, very thing. It could be your area of blessing. Because I believe that you are challenged most in the area that you're supposed to thrive in most. I'm gonna give you an example with David. David is his courage is what is supposed to take him to greatness, is what is supposed to take him to become a king or make him a king. And if he had ignored the small challenges, like ignoring a bear, I'm not going to fight a bear. What is one sheep? I'm not going to fight a lion, please. I'm not going to risk it but David risks it. He risks fighting the bear. He risks fighting the lion, because at the end of the day, it's his courage that is going to open these doors. So I do not know what you're ignoring right now. The small things this could be the one thing that is supposed to take you where you're supposed to get to, So don't ignore these small fights. Don't ignore these small pains. Don't ignore, embrace them. Even like the pain that you're going through right now. Like, brace it, because you're fighting for a generation. So back to my education. So when I get to doing my BA, I don't have money to do my BA. I go to one university, I'm going to mention it, St. Paul's University, because the dean was so kind, and the dean was like, I gave a brief of what I was doing, and that time I was selling my books, and I was doing a lot, and the dean was like, you know what, we could trade, like you could give us some services, and we can see how we can I don't know, reduce, not reduce, but pay you something, and then you pay your fee, but not the whole amount. Like, I don't know, I would, like, here I would think it's like maybe a job. We can give you a job to do, and then we can take it off your school fees. So I had done a lot of rounds in universities, and so many local universities. Like, I was shopping for my BA, for where I was gonna do my BA, and I had done my higher diploma at Kenya Association of Professional Counselors, and I knew their BA program. So after I had done all my rounds, I went back to my school, and I was like, you know what, I'm settling for this. And the reason why I settled for my school was not because it was cheaper, but it was because I wanted more than just getting that BA. I was like, okay, these are local universities, and what I want is an international certificate. And I'm telling you, I was cognizant of the fact that I'm doing this because I would want my child to go study abroad. I had not thought of my children like living abroad. I had thought of university. Like, I would want my daughter. Of course, that time you always think about your first child, And that's another thing. Why am I thinking about my first child? Because I know, like, when this child starts, when it starts with this one, then it's gonna be like, it's like a trend, It's like this is a pace setter. So I was like, I'm gonna do this for the sake of my child. I mean, I would want them to get an international education. So I go through, I do my BA. I don't have money. These are the key things that I want you to get. I don't have money, but I have a product. Don't say, oh, I'm just working. I have a product. My book was like leveraged in so many things and in so many ways, but I still didn't have money. I'm going to tell you the 3 things that I had. And the number 1 thing I had was faith. Because faith is a currency. Faith is a currency. Like, I've come to understand, and I've come to appreciate, and I've come to learn that God loves faith. God loves when we have faith, because it's like I'm saying, God, I totally trust you. You are dependable. You are credible. And I mean, I feel like he brags when he sees that we have faith. So I had faith. Then number 2, I had an intention. This is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm doing. This, like, I was very, very intentional. I had an intention, and I was very, very intentional. And then number 3, I had a strategy. I mean, I was strategic. I knew I'm doing this because of this and this and this. I mean, I knew that once I take a flight to Manchester, I'm gonna break that cycle of locality, of being local. I mean, I had that in mind. So I was very, very, very aware of these things. So I graduate. I study. I'm not going into details of that, because I said I mentioned all that in my previous videos. So I think we were 10 people in my class, but only 2 of us went to Manchester for the graduation. And for me, it was so intentional. I was like, okay, fine. I know I've studied here in Kenya, and I know I'm supposed to get my, we did a local graduation here. But then I was like, I'm gonna go the whole 9 yard. I am going to go all the way. And when you start, when you want to do something, this provision, it's like, I didn't even struggle with my air ticket. Like I had that money in my account. Like the air ticket was there. That time, I mean, I had just done a project, and I had some money that was just like ready. It wasn't meant for my air ticket, but I didn't have to struggle with my air ticket, because when you start making steps, things start happening, things start moving, So that is it. I go to Manchester. I do my BA in UK. So fast forward, remember I said between my higher diploma and my BA, I took 8 years. Like I did I graduated with my higher diploma in 2008. Then I graduated with my BA in 2016. Those are 8 years. Then, so these are 8 years. I want you to like really, really note this. I talked about calendars. I spoke about like days and the way I do not take anything for granted. So this is 8 years. Then between 2016 and I graduate with my MA I've rushed. I'll tell you, I'll get there. So I graduate with my MA in 2023. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 7 years. So the first wait was 8 years, but now it's shortened. It's 7 years now. I've waited for 7 years. Because when you start conquering, I mean, like the ground starts breaking. So come to my MA, without going into like a lot of details of my MA. So I get a scholarship to come and study in US, and now things are now totally different. I mean, fights are gonna be there. I told you how I got my education, and how you get your miracle. That's the same way you're gonna sustain that miracle. Like for me, with my education, I've said I cannot just launch and just like look at what everyone else is doing and do it, or not do something because other people are not doing. For me, I know mine does not come easy. I know the fight. I know the battle. I am very, very aware of the battle with my education. So mine is always through prayer and fasting. Like before I break through, it has to be like a real tussle. So I'm not gonna tell you how I broke through that, but I just want to stick to what I'm saying right now. Today I want to stick to like breaking that cycle, because I broke it by the grace of God. So I come here, I get an education, I get like a scholarship for my MA, and now things are different. With my BA, oh my gosh. You know what I remembered? I remember there's this time that one of my classmates was getting letters for school fees balance the whole semester. Oh my God. The whole semester, she got letters, and she'd go back to the office and she's like, but I've paid. And then they would tell her, oh, okay, you're going to find out. Do you know all that time she was getting letters and balances, but they were not hers, they were mine. We had a new accountant, and I think she had mixed up stuff. Then a week to us, like being done with that semester, is when they realized, oh, by the way, I had not received any letter. And I was like, when this girl kept saying in class, I'm receiving these letters and I don't even know, I don't have and I was like, oh my God, I've never received any letter. And I mean, I haven't paid any fee. And I knew it was the grace of God. Like, oh my God, because I don't know what I would have done the whole semester. Anyway, so I come to my MA. So I never, ever have issued the school fees. And not only that, now this time I have a full scholarship and I'm also getting a stipend. Like, you guy, I'm studying and I don't have to worry about what I'm eating. I don't have to worry about where I'm sleeping. I don't have to worry about my books. Like every month, you have money for your rent. You have money for your books. You have money for your food. You're being taken care of. Let me tell you, if this is not God's grace, I do not know what it is. I conquered the BA challenges. I had moved like from local to international, and now I had moved again I had done like it wasn't online. It was, I just wasn't in person, like that collaboration was like sometimes Manchester would come, we would learn with their material. I mean, it wasn't in person. It wasn't in person. But now I am studying and I am in person. Can you see the changes? Can you see the graduation? Can you see like how high we are going? Can you see how the patterns are being broken? Can you see? Or you're not seeing? Can you see we've moved from 8 years, now we are at 7 years. We've moved from like struggling with school fees, now we are at getting a full scholarship. We've moved from just studying and going for graduation, just attending the graduation abroad. Now we are here and we are studying, we are in class with everybody else. And I knew this one is now broken, but I did not know the magnitude of this until I watched this video the other day, and I was like, oh my God, I just got a revelation of what happened. So when now this cycle, because now this cycle is broken. I mean, my nephews, my nieces, like now it's broken. Anybody that wants to come and study abroad, they can study abroad. But now it's so tangible that I had not thought of my children coming to America. I had not even imagined that my kids would come and study here. So my kids joined me within a year. Now I have kids in middle school. I have kids studying in US in high school and in college. Now I have enrolled all of them in different classes. We've now broken that pattern. Now if you want to study, to get your good broadband education from middle class, from high school, to college, then that is broken. So this this is now a done deal. I can honestly say that this is now a done deal. Education will never rule over my children. Like the challenge of education will never ever rule over my children. As a matter of fact, they will rule over education. And just as it's not off. It's off, but it's not off. I would say like my daughter got an A in KCSE, something that the dad and I had never, like, that was not anywhere near our imagination, and it was not anywhere near what we got. So it's a done deal. It is a done deal. My children will rule over education. It will never overcome them or overpower them. Now it's a done deal. You will rule over it. That which was overpowering you, that which was controlling you, you can control it, and your children will not go through anything that you've gone through. So in part 3, I'm going to be telling you how to break cycles. And again, I said I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you from stuff I've done. And I really hope that you can learn as much as you can learn. I really hope that you can get as much as you can get. So see you in part 3 as we talk about, like, what do I do? How do I break these cycles? Check out.
We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it is just